LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Sheldon Harrison. You're live on the Coach Sheldon Harrison Combat Sports Show Live. Okay, guys, this is a fight that's probably going to go down. And I had a couple of my subscribers say, Coach, man, we need you to do a boxing breakdown, keys to victory. And, you know, guys, and I'm going to do more of those, starting today. I'm going to do more of keys. You know, when I get home and I can sit in front of my computer, I'm going to do several keys to victory. I'm going to do Crawford Horn keys to victory. I'm going to do Whyte Ortiz keys to victory. And, I am going to do that because a lot of y'all been asking for them. And I know I said I'd do them. So, yes, I'm going to do them. This is going to be a mini one, okay? Like, when I do a keys to victory, I like to, draw it out and map it out and show video clips of why, I got my reasoning. I like to do that. So, this one is kind of like a mini one because y'all can hear that. You can hear me. I'm on the road. And I'm always working. But, just know that they coming. This is a good fight, man. This is a good fight. And again, on the screen, these are two guys that's got heart, If you could say one thing about Dyllan and Whyte, yeah, you can put aside that the guy gets his choice of haircuts is just horrific. But at the end of the day, when you look at Dyllan and Whyte, he's not afraid to fight, whoever, they put him in there with, he's going to fight. He's going to give a good account for himself in these fights. And he's going to make it a rough fight. He's going to make it a tough affair. He's going to pretty much do what he has to do to try to win. And you can say, that's pretty much all you can say about Dyllan and Whyte. You can't say a lot of bad. The thing is, though, in boxing and any combat sport, it's levels to this, And I think Luis Ortiz is on one level. And I think Dyllan Whyte is on 5 levels below. And that's not a knock on Dyllan Whyte because, there are a lot of people that didn't want to take this fight. I mean, there are a lot of people that don't want to fight Luis Ortiz because even, as an aged fighter past his prime, Luis Ortiz, he still looks good. He still fights well. And he still got that Cuban style, man, he's hard to beat. And Luis Ortiz, more than likely, he's going to knock you out. He can hit. He's got a very, very strong jab. His jab is probably one of his better weapons because his jab can actually knock you out. His jab can do damage to you, So, Luis Ortiz, he's a very good fighter. And people say, well, you're just trying to, hype up Wilder. Well, I'm not trying to hype up Deontay Wilder. That's not what I'm doing. But you got to understand, man, that Wilder's a special fighter. He's a special fighter that he's got an instinct. Deontay Wilder may not be like the best technical skill fighter. I know he's not. I think Dyllan Whyte, to an extent, got some skills better than Wilder. I know Luis Ortiz is a better fighter than Wilder skill-wise. But, Deontay Wilder he's got this instinct, and it's a fighting instinct. Instinctively, the guy just knows how to fight, and he knows how to land that punch when he needs it. He just do. He's an instinctive fighter. And, I talk about instinctive fighters. These are fighters that automatically, when they get into a situation, they know how to react. And when you're fighting an instinctive fighter that don't have skill sets, when you fight those kind of fighters, those are very dangerous fighters because they ain't got nothing to lose. Fighters like Jeff Horn, they not the most skillful fighter, but they know how to fight. Instinctively, they understand, that this is a fight and I'm in a brawl. And Jeff Horn not the most technical. And the only people that can beat these kind of fighters, believe it or not, are technical fighters with chins. Have y'all noticed that? Because if they fight other guys like them that's unorthodox, they're going to win because that's the style that they're used to. Then see, I haven't had a chance to really break it down why Deontay Wilder, beat Luis Ortiz, like why he did it. And, Luis Ortiz, he was being overwhelmed, man. He was being completely overwhelmed, and Luis Ortiz probably done fought many guys. But when you fight a guy like Wilder, he's so unorthodox that you just don't know where the strike's coming from. You don't know. And it's like, you're trying to catch him, you're trying to defend, and it just don't work. So Wilder is a tough fight. He's hard. Well, Dyllan Whyte is one of these kind of fighters. He's very unorthodox. He's unorthodox. He's going to throw like these crazy punches at Luis Ortiz. And it's not like a clear-cut victory. I think Luis Ortiz is going to skillfully outdo this because Dyllan Whyte, he's not as athletic as Deontay Wilder. And, he don't move like Wilder. Wilder's very, very athletic. He's an athletic guy with instincts that can finish you, I just don't think Dyllan Whyte got that kind of athleticism. And, I don't know. It's going to be a good fight, though. I just think Luis Ortiz going to, touch him up a little bit and then try to get him out of there by maybe the 11th round, the 10th round, maybe, But it's a good fight. Do I think Dyllan Whyte deserves to be in the mix? If he beat Luis Ortiz, you know what? I wouldn't care if he fought Wilder because, Anthony Joshua won't fight him. I mean, and, it is what it is, man. It's like, how you have a classroom, full of kids, and you got all the kids that misbehave, that don't act right, but then you got the kids who do. You know what? I think we need to start putting our attention, man, on the people that want to act right. I think as a whole boxing community, we need to put our attention on fighters that actually want to do the right thing, by them titles. I think we need to. We need to start worrying about these guys that don't fight, man. And what we need to do is bring them to the carpet, put them to the task every time that they mess up. We need to highlight that. But we need to start talking about these guys, man, that are actually that want to fight. And Dyllan Whyte, he's another guy, I know I gave him a hard time. But he's a guy that do truly want to fight, man. He want to fight the best. Luis Ortiz don't mind. He don't care who he fight. These guys, they're not actively ducking anybody. And, most of the time, guys, a fighter don't duck another fighter most of the time. And I use that word loosely, most of the time. A fighter don't duck a fighter most of the time. It's the fighter's team, man, that's trying to put the fighter in position to just be successful with these padded resumes. That's what they do. You can't help it. But Luis Ortiz and Dyllan Whyte, they're into their careers. They're deep into their career. Well, Luis Ortiz is, and Dyllan Whyte is fastly approaching, the time out of his prime. So, yeah, man, I don't blame Dyllan Whyte for taking this fight. I don't blame him. And he jumped on the opportunity to fight Luis Ortiz. I wish more fighters would have done that. I wish more fighters would have done it. See, with Luis Ortiz, he's a very high risk, and the reward for beating him is not that high. So, he's not a very attractive fighter. And let me break this down because I know we got guys on YouTube. Attractive not meaning how he looks, but attractive meaning that monetarily wise, he's not a very attractive fighter for a lot of fighters that's trying to get it. Because, a loss to Luis Ortiz will set you back. But he's that good. And Dyllan Whyte, he's not afraid to take the challenge. So, I'm with it, man. I'm with this fight. I will do a keys to victory, sometime this evening, hopefully. You guys tell me what you think about this fight. Who do you have winning? And please just tell me why you think they win. I got Luis Ortiz winning because I think Luis Ortiz he's a more technical boxer. Dyllan Whyte, he's a dark horse, and he's got a long shot to land, one of those crazy looping punches. And if he land one of those, now he might can work himself back into the fight. And that's just the way that is. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harris. And I'm done. What are you waiting on? Subscribe.